Well, shooters and reloaders out there, Fortune Cookie 45 LC coming to you from the hot lead zone, and might as well not waste any time. We casted up those Lee 457 405 grain round nose flat points yesterday, a whole passel of them. No sense wasting time, went ahead and powder coated them with periwinkle gray, and there is the big butter jug full of these, all powder coated and ready to size. Periwinkle gray makes a very nice coating, and you see I couldn't resist doing one with the effects, but just one, and very subtle at that. We've got a lot of nice bullets here to size and load and do some testing. This is a new mold, of course, so we're going to be working up loads for this bullet. Well, before we size these bullets, let's go ahead and show you that hardness test again, so you'll see what BHN 18 kind of looks like. Get that in focus. So the last time I did a hardness test with the thumbnail, the camera was off focus a little bit, so let's see if I can show you that a little better. So we find a nice spot there, and then we hit it at 90 degrees with the thumbnail, put enough pressure until the nail bed turns white, and then make 6 sideways sawing motions. And we should be able to see a little dent right there, you see? That's BHN 18, only a slight dent. So this is pretty hard. This is a reject bullet. So now let's go ahead and size these. So these bullets drop out of the mold at 0.458 inches, and after we powder coat them, they measure 0.460, 4605. So that's about right, 458, and it adds about a thousandth of an inch on a side from the powder coat, so we got 460. We're going to go ahead and size these back down to 458. So that periwinkle gray really does a nice job powder coating these. Show you those noses. Nice noses. So shooters and reloaders out there, at this point we're getting ready to use our powder coated bullets and size them, but we have now a discussion about all of our lube options for our cast bullets. And thanks to powder coating and all the other ways that we have to lube, we've got a lot of options. Let's discuss the options that we have available to us, and that is the subject of this video. Now, first of all, we have the option of no lube at all. Now this is a ridiculous option, of course, because if you're shooting black powder, you need to put a lot of SPG lube in there, or the fouling from the powder will get so bad after 1 or 2 shots that you're out of action. And when it comes to smokeless, Lee says that all cast bullets need to be lubed. Now there was a time that there were some tests that were done using unlubricated plain cast lead bullets shot to see if leading would happen if the bullets were sized properly for the gun. And it turned out that it did not cause leading. However, we would still be very wise to go ahead and use some kind of lube. Not using any lube just because of that one test is not a very good option really for us. The next option is to lubricate our cast bullets with lube in the grooves, and this could be applied by doing lubricator sizer machines, or pan lubing, or even smearing it in with our fingers. Not recommended though. Best would be to use lubricator sizers to get the lube into the grooves, and this is traditional lubrication of our cast bullets, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. It works well, it's worked well for many years, and it still will work well for us. But back in the 60s and 70s, Richard Lee of Lee Precision determined that cast bullet shooters were spending a lot of time lubricating their cast bullets, and Lee wanted to figure out some way for us to be able to do it a lot faster, more efficiently, and allow more time for family and for our shooting. So what he did was he came up with the idea of doing the Tumble Lube design bullets that required no sizing because they dropped closer to the diameter that we wanted. And then the lubrication was provided by the Lee Liquid Airlocks Tumble Lube. So tumble lubing is another option for shooters who don't want to do the traditional lube in the grooves, but they want to use lube that will allow good, efficient, and leading-free shooting. The Tumble Lube is either done with Lee Liquid Airlocks or with 45-45-10, which is a spin-off derivation of the Lee Liquid Airlocks that has all the advantages of Lee Liquid Airlocks without the disadvantages of stickiness and bad appearance. These are lubricated with 45-45-10, and you see the bullets have a very nice, attractive, antique look to them, plus the thin coating of the Lee Liquid Airlocks prevents leading. So that's a good option. And it's still maybe the most time-efficient way to lubricate our cast bullets. Plus, if we use the Tumble Lube design, no sizing needed so that we save all the time that we used to spend sizing and lubricating our cast bullets. And this is why Country Boy Prepper loves the 45-45-10 system to do his cowboy action bullets, because he's got a whole family of ammo-hungry shooters that are involved in cowboy action shooting. So tumble lubing with Lee Liquid Airlocks or 45-45-10 is another good option for us to lubricate our cast bullets. Now next, the way to avoid leading by doing a different kind of lubing, gas checks. And gas checks have to be put on by some kind of die and press type operation to squeeze the gas check on. And what a gas check is either a copper or cupro-nickel cup that goes over a instep on the base of the bullet. And for those bullets that don't have insteps, you can actually use a bullet puller or something of that nature to actually squeeze the gas checks onto the base of a regular bullet that is not designed for gas checks. However, much easier to go ahead and choose a cast bullet design that incorporates the gas check groove if you want to use gas checks. So this happens to be a 310 grain 44 caliber bullet that is designed for gas checks, and we went ahead and applied them on there. Now, not all cast bullets that have designs for gas checks need gas checks. Oftentimes we don't need to use gas checks at all. And the criteria that I use is that if I'm looking for more accuracy, and gas checks give me that by testing has revealed that, then I'll use the gas checks to give me better accuracy. But the use of gas checks for high velocity magnum loads is probably the only real valid reason for using gas checks today. Now finally, to offer the most contemporary way of lubing our cast bullets is to do powder coating. And powder coating is a process whereby any of our powder coats that are either polyesters or polyurethanes or epoxies, this kind of thing, are coatings that can be applied either by shaking and baking or vibratory tumbling or the heat system that Elvis Ammo likes to do. And hello to Elvis Ammo out there. He pioneered what I call the 4-1-40 system, where you heat the bullet to 140 degrees for 4 minutes, and then you go ahead and throw it into the shake and bake with the powder coat, and the little heat that is on the bullet lets the powder stick better. Now I found the vibratory tumbler works just as well, and until that fails for me, which it hasn't, but until that fails for me, I'm going to keep the 4-1-40 Elvis Ammo system in reserve for me. Now these were done with the vibratory tumbler, and they work out real well. What powder coating does is it creates a kind of a poly coat paint jacket on the bullet that encapsulates the bullet, that allows us to shoot lead free and also have encapsulated lead, no leading in our barrel, and no lube reloading. so that we don't have lube all over our fingers or our reloading dies, this kind of thing, after using powder-coated bullets. Now, however, powder-coated bullets has not been recognized by the industry or the manufacturers or the makers of reloading equipment, the people that put out reloading manuals. They don't recognize powder coating. Why? I don't know, because it's catching on like wildfire, and it's a viable option for us today to do a lubing system without the lube. So suppose you just casted up 2,000 bullets and you're looking for an efficient way to lubricate them. The most efficient way is, of course, no lubing, but we've already discussed that that's not really an option. So the next is the 45-45-10 or Lee liquid allox, and that provides a system where we can lubricate 1,000 bullets in about 12 minutes of total work expended. It's hard to beat that. The next most efficient would be the powder coating, because powder coating actually sounds like it's a lot of work, but it really isn't when you use a big toaster oven and also big baskets that hold a lot of bullets, so you can do a lot of them in a single run. And let's not forget to mention that there are liquid systems like the high-tech that are available that allow the coating of powder coat in an efficient manner that works very well. High-tech is a liquid system, and then we have the dry powder systems that we put on with a vibratory tumbler or the Elvis Ammo Ford 140 technique. Plus, let's not forget our electrostatic powder coating friends out there who are doing some fine work by using the electrostatic equipment to powder spray and get real good results, because the electrostatic actually causes a electrical attraction of the powder onto the parts that you're powder coating. But I have no desire to turn my garage into a powder coating shop, and so I'm not looking to do electrostatic. Now, what takes the longest is doing the traditional lubing, where you gotta run every bullet single action into a machine like our RCBS Lubematic 2. So you gotta spend hours running every bullet through there. Now, we can use Lee sizer kits, but again, you've got to run every bullet single file through those dies. Now, the messiest way to lubricate cast bullets is pan lubing. And I recommend that you avoid pan lubing like the plague, if you can. So interestingly, it's a great time to be a cast bullet shooter and a reloader, because we now have options where we can combine, so that if we wanted to, we could have any combination of powder coat plus lube plus gas check plus tumble lube. So we could actually do quadruple lubing of our bullets now if we wanted to. Now, why might we want to do that? And I found out that when I put the lube in the 340 grain bullet, it actually shot very accurately. This bullet didn't shoot that well for me before I did powder coating on, before I did the lubing of them. So certainly I can go ahead and test the 405 grainer, and with the long barrels that I have, the 26-inch lever action Marlin 1895 Cowboy, and also the 24-inch 458 Winchester Magnum Model 70, with those long barrels, the use of the lube might very well give us a little advantage, because why not have a little lubrication in the barrel? The bullets certainly size easier when there's lube, and when they're not lubed, they size more difficult. Plus, when the bullet first hits the rifling, a little bit of lube there might very well help. So we might very well find that the rounds shoot better with the lube in there in addition to the powder coat. Or not. Only testing will determine all of that for your particular gun. And we have the option of adding gas checks if necessary, or if we want to, and even tumble lubing them to give an extra layer of lubrication. So it is a very exciting time actually to be able to work with these cast bullets. Bye for now.